Hi, welcome to the Community Cancer Center. I'm Angelia Freeman, and today we're going to cover session 1 of our tobacco cessation program, Freshstart. We are deciding to quit. We're going to talk about the introduction to the Freshstart program, what and how of nicotine addiction, health concerns related to smoking, immediate benefits of quitting, and finally, the behavior change model and your ambivalence to quitting. Freshstart is a 4-week tobacco cessation class, and each week we provide cessation education to aid you in a successful quit program. We will also explore your habit, root causes for each trigger, and behavior change adaptations that you can make. We promise to take you out of your comfort zone and take all the fun out of smoking for you. At the end of 4 weeks, we encourage you to continue meeting with us because we're not quite done with you yet. Becoming a quitter and what you need to know about quitting. We want you to acknowledge what you're up against. Quitting is hard. We will discuss why you're here and explore the nicotine addiction triggers and your behaviors. We understand the process and your options. Knowing what options you have while developing your individualized quit plan can be helpful and aid in your overall success. And we want you to know who and what your support resources are. You're not in this alone. Developing your support team will make your quit attempt that much more successful. So why is quitting so hard? Nicotine is a naturally occurring, highly addictive substance found in tobacco, and the addiction is both physical and mental. In order to quit and stay quit, we will address both the psychological and the physical dependence. Did you know there are more than 7,000 chemicals in cigarette smoke? And then more than 70 of those chemicals are directly linked to cancer. So why are we continuing to smoke? Well, it's called addiction, and we'll explore that a little bit. So addiction and the learning process. Dopamine contributes to the experience of pleasure, but also plays a role in learning and memory. These are two key elements in the transition from liking something to becoming addicted to it. So dopamine interacts with another neurotransmitter, glutamate, to take over the brain system of reward-related learning. And the dopamine interaction with glutamate has an important role in sustaining life because it links activities needed for human survival with pleasure and reward. The reward circuit in the brain includes areas involved with motivation and memory, as well as with pleasure. So addictive substances and behaviors stimulate the same circuit and then overload it. It looks a little something like this. When you light up a cigarette, immediately your brain is flooded with dopamine, and this happens in the nucleus accumbens. Then in the hippocampus, it lays down memories of a rapid sense of satisfaction. And once those memories are laid down, it stimulates the amygdala, which creates a conditioned response to certain stimuli. In other words, you smoke your cigarette, your body releases the dopamine, and immediately your body says, I like this, I want more of this. And really what your body likes is the release of dopamine, not necessarily the act of smoking a cigarette. So I like this, I want more of this is the addictive behavior. So why quit? Well, 2 reasons: for your health and for the immediate rewards. When it comes to your health, you can lower your risk of cancer, lung disease, blindness or ocular problems, heart attack, strokes, and blood vessel disease, pregnancy issues for women and unborn babies, and it also improves your longevity. Then for the immediate rewards, you have a better sense of smell and taste. Financial savings are huge, and overall social acceptance. But there's other reasons too: the health of others and setting an example. For the health of others, think about secondhand exposure to secondhand smoke, as well as lung cancer, heart disease, and even developing asthma, ear infections, colds, bronchitis, and a higher rate of sudden infant death syndrome. In setting an example, studies show that familial influence shows children in a smoker's household are likely to become smokers themselves. Others may want you to quit, but the real commitment must come from you. So now we're going to explore two behavior change models, the health belief model of behavior change and the stages of the behavior change. And here's what they look like in the health belief model. You're more likely to quit smoking if you believe you can get a smoking-related disease and it actually worries you. Or you believe that you can make an honest attempt at quitting smoking, or that the benefits of quitting outweigh the benefits of continuing to smoke, or someone who has health problems as a result of their smoking. Then we have the behavior change model. This is a little more complex and kind of brings it all together. And there are 5 stages a person goes through in the behavior change model. Stage 1 is the pre-contemplation. At this stage, the smoker is not seriously thinking about quitting. Then we have the contemplation, stage 2. Actively thinking about quitting, but not at the point to make a serious quit attempt. Like they know they should quit, but they're not really serious about it right now. Then stage 3 is the preparation stage. They're ready to quit in the next month or have tried to quit in the last 12 months and have a plan to quit. And then we have the action stage. We really like the action stage. This is where a lot of the work gets done. This is the first 6 months when a smoker is actively quitting. They're working on identifying triggers, the behaviors around those triggers, the root causes of the trigger, and alternate solutions so that they don't simply satisfy the urge to smoke, but they're learning to do other things instead. And then we have the maintenance stage. And this is a period of 6 months to 5 years when an ex-smoker is aware of the dangers and triggers and takes steps to avoid relapse. So the progress looks a little something like this. They go from stage 1, 2, and 3, the pre-contemplation, contemplation, and preparation, and action, and then maintenance. But then sometimes we have what's known as a relapse, where we go back into the action stage and we begin the work and we just keep working at why we're having the relapse. And it could be a recurring process, and don't worry about it. We're here to help you with that. Then we want to address ambivalence. And it looks a little something like, maybe I should quit today, but I don't know, maybe I shouldn't. If this is you, you are seriously stuck in the contemplation stage of behavior change. To address the behavior of ambivalence, we start by managing our mixed emotions and our feelings. We think of reasons why we should quit using tobacco, and the list may look something like this. You'll feel healthier right away. You'll feel healthier the rest of your life. You'll make family and friends proud of you, and you'll be proud of yourself. You'll have more money to spend, and you'll probably worry a little less. So let's do an activity kind of around the ambivalence. And we're going to decide if we want to quit or to keep smoking. This is a very effective activity. Make 2 columns on a sheet of paper. In one column, you want to list your reasons for quitting smoking. And then in the other column, you want to list the reasons to keep smoking. Some of the reasons to quit smoking may look like this: for your health, to save money, for better insurance rates, to smell better, or maybe even to get surgery. And then reasons that you want to keep smoking, maybe you enjoy it, or maybe so you can belong. Or quitting is too hard. Maybe it keeps you entertained, or simply no one's going to tell you what to do. Once you have your list prepared, you want to review the list and circle items that are important to you. So items that may be important for quitting could include your health, to save money, or maybe you have surgery coming up and you need to quit for that. Items that you might keep you smoking could be simply that you enjoy it, quitting is hard, or nobody's going to tell you what to do. So once you've identified your important items from each list, we want to place a star next to the most important on each side. So the most important reason for quitting may include for your health, and the most important reason to keep smoking may include quitting is hard and I'm just not ready right now. Both scenarios are very important and valid reasons. So then after that, you want to ask yourself, what do I want to do most? Quit smoking or keep smoking? So you say, what is the most important to you? Your health or postponement because quitting is hard and I'm not ready right now. So if your answer is to quit smoking for your health, then you are ready. We have one more activity for you. And this is the session 1 homework assignment. Here's what we want you to do. We want you to get real about how much and how often you light up. We want you to pick one day over the next week. And from the moment you wake up, track each time you smoke a cigarette. We want you to know what time of day, what was the situation, and how many cigarettes did you smoke. So it may look something like this. Let's say you wake up at 6 a.m. and you light up, and then you have 2 more with your cup of coffee, and maybe 1 more on a trip to work, 1 when you get to work, a couple at break, 1 before lunch, a couple after lunch, maybe a couple more in your afternoon break, a cigarette on the drive home or before dinner, a couple after dinner, 1 in the early evening, 1 mid-evening, and maybe a couple of more before you go to bed. In this scenario, this is an example of how many times a single pack a day smoker lights up. Seems pretty realistic. So let's analyze the physical and the psychological triggers. There are 3 reasons why a smoker will light up, and they include the withdrawal. Their body is in clinical withdrawal 2.5 hours or more after their last cigarette, or maybe it's a habit or a behavior. So lighting up every time you find yourself in a specific surrounding or situation that triggers the urge to smoke. An example of this would be every time you get on the phone, you light up a cigarette and step outside. That's very common. And then we have the situational, which is lighting up as a coping mechanism. So let's take a look at this. The time between the cigarettes. So within 30 minutes, this individual smoked 3 cigarettes. And then it goes 2 hours of space, an hour and a half, 2 hours, 45 minutes, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 1 hour, 1 hour, and an hour and a half. And that covers the course of an entire day. So I pointed out here the withdrawal scenarios in their smoking habit. The scenario is the hardest to address, and in a taper method of quitting, the last scenario that we want you to quit. And this is because your body is actually in withdrawal. We can better and have more success if we address the habit and the behavior instances, and then we address the withdrawal. So now what I've done is I've placed a star next to the habit/behavior. And the star indicates an instance of smoking that is a learned habit or behavior. This is the first scenario that we address by either postponing or elimination of that instance of smoking. And we suggest adjusting 1 instance at a time. If you say, I'm going to remove, completely eliminate every habit or behavior instance of smoking, you're probably developing a recipe for failure. And we don't want that. We want you to be successful in your quit attempt. So we're going to work scenario by scenario. So let's wrap it all up. There are numerous reasons to quit smoking. Ambivalence is completely normal. Remind yourself of your reasons for quitting to handle your ambivalence, and quitting is a process, and we are here to help. So we want you to join us for session 2, where we are planning your quit. We meet Tuesdays from 4 to 5 p.m. We're going to learn how to pick a quit day, assessing our previous quit attempts, and making a plan to quit. I want to thank you for joining us for session 1 in deciding to quit, and we'll see you next week. Bye.